Such word of blame he spoke and took his way toward the city's rampart. Venus then overveiled them as they moved in darkened air, a liquid mantle of thick cloud divine, that viewless they might pass, nor would any obstruct, delay, or question why they came. To Paphos then she soared, her loved abode, where stands her temple, at whose 100 shrines garlands of myrtle and fresh roses breathe, and clouds of orient sweetness waft away. Meanwhile the wanderers swiftly journey on, along the clear-marked road, and soon they climb the brow of a high hill, which close in view overtowers the city's crown, the vast exploit, where lately rose but Afric cabins rude. Aeneas wondered at the smooth wide ways, the bastioned gates, the uproar of the throng. The Tyrians toil unwearied, some upraise a wall or citadel from far below, lifting the ponderous stone, or with due care choose where to build and close the space around, with sacred furrow in their gathering place. The people for just governors, just laws, and for their reverend senate shout acclaim. Some clear the harbor mouth, some deeply lay the base of a great theatre, and carve out proud columns from the mountain to adorn their rising stage with lofty ornament. So busy bees above a field of flowers in early summer amid sunbeams toil, leading abroad their nation's youthful brood, or with the flowing honey storing close the pliant cells until they quite run over with nectared sweet, while from the entering swarm they take their little loads, or lined for war rout the dull drones and chase them from the hive. Brisk is the task, and all the honeyed air breathes odors of wild thyme. How blessed of heaven these men that see their promised ramparts rise. Aeneas sighed, and swift his glances moved from tower to tower, then on his way he fared. Veiled in the wonder cloud, whence all unseen of human eyes, oh strange the tale and true, he threaded the strong streets, unmarked, unknown, deep in the city's heart, where was a grove, a beauteous shade, where once the Tyrians, cast here by stormful waves, delved out of earth that portent which Queen Juno bade them find, the head of a proud horse, that ages long their boast might be wealth, luxury, and war. Upon this spot Sidonian Dido raised a spacious fane to Juno, which became splendid with gifts, and hallowed far and wide for potency divine. Its beams were bronze, and on loud hinges swung the brazen doors. A rare new sight this sacred grove did show, which calmed Aeneas' fears and made him bold to hope for safety, and with lifted heart from his low fallen fortunes re-aspire. For while he waits the advent of the queen, he scans the mighty temple and admires the city's opulent pride, and all the skill its rival craftsmen in their work approve. Behold, he sees old Ilium's well-fought fields in sequined picture, and those famous wards now told upon men's lips the whole world round. There Atreus' sons, their kingly Priam moved, and fierce Pelides, pitiless to both. Aeneas paused, and weeping thus began, Alas, Achates, what far region now, what land in all the world knows not our pain? See, it is Priam, virtue's wage is given. O even here also there be tears, for what men bear and mortal creatures feel, each other's sorrow. Therefore have no fear. This story of our loss forebodes us well. So saying, he received into his heart that visionary scene, profoundly sighed, and let his plenteous tears unheeded flow. There he beheld the citadel of Troy, girt with embattled foes, here Greeks in flight, some Trojan onset scaped, there Phrygian bands before tall plumed Achilles' chariot sped. The snowy tents of Rhesus spread hard by, he sees them through his tears, where Diomed, in night's first watch, burst over them unaware, with bloody havoc and a host of deaths. Then drove his fiery coursers over the plain, before their thirst or hunger could be stayed on Trojan corn or Xanthus' cooling stream. Here too was princely Troilus despoiled. Routed and weaponless, O wretched boy, ill-matched against Achilles, his wild steeds bear him along, as from his chariot's rear he falls far back, but clutches still the rein. His hair and shoulders on the ground go trailing, and his down-pointing spear head crawls the dust. Elsewhere, to Pallas, ever hostile shrine, daughters of Ilium, with unsnooded hair, and lifting all in vain her hallowed pall, walk suppliant and sad, beating their breasts with outspread palms, but her unswerving eyes the goddess fixed on earth and wouldn't see. Achilles round the Trojan rampart thrice had dragged the fallen Hector, and for gold was making traffic of the liftless clay. Aeneas groaned aloud with bursting heart to see the spoils, the car, the very corpse of his lost friend, while Priam for the dead stretched forth in piteous prayer for his helpless hands. There too his own presentment he could see, surrounded by Greek kings, and there was shown hordes from the east, and black-browed Memnon's arms. Her band of Amazons, with moon-shaped shields, Pentilcia led. Her martial eye flamed on from troop to troop a belt of gold. Beneath one bare, protruded breast she bound, a warrior virgin braving mail-clad men. Well, on such spectacle Aeneas' eyes looked wondering, while mute and motionless he stood at gaze. Queen Dido to the shrine in lovely majesty drew near. A throng of youthful followers pressed round her way. So by the margin of Eurotas wide, or over the Cynthian steppe, Diana leads her bright processional. Hither and yon are visionary legions numberless of Oreads. The regnant goddess bears a quiver on her shoulders, and is seen emerging tallest of her beauteous train, while joy unutterable thrills the breast of fond Latona. Dido not less fair amid her subjects passed, and not less bright her glow of gracious joy, while she approved her future kingdom's pomp and vast emprise. Then at the sacred portal and beneath the temple's vaulted dome she took her place, encompassed by armed men and lifted high upon a throne her statutes and decrees. The people heard and took what lot or toil her sentence or impartial urn assigned. But lo, Aeneas sees among the throng, with other Teucrians, whom the black storm flung far over the deep and drove on alien shores. Struck dumb was he, and good Achates too, half gladness and half fear. Fain would they fly to friendship's fond embrace, but knowing not what might befall, their hearts felt doubt and care. Therefore they kept their secret, and remained forth peering from the hollow veil of cloud, haply to learn what their friend's fate might be, or where the fleet was landed, or what aim had brought them hither. For a chosen few from every ship had come to sue for grace, and all the temple with their voices rang. The doors swung wide, and after access given, with soul serene these lowly words essayed. O Queen, who hast authority of Jove to found this rising city and subdue with righteous governance its people proud, beseech thy mercy. Keep the curse of fire from our poor ships, we pray thee. Do no wrong unto a guiltless race, but heed our plea. No Libyan hearth shall suffer from our sword, nor spoil and plunder to our ships be borne. Such haughty violence fits not the souls of vanquished men. We journey to a land named in Greek syllables Hesperia, a storied realm, made mighty by great wars and wealth of fruitful land. In former days, Oenotrians had it, and their sons, 'tis said, have called it Italy by a chieftain's name. To a whole region given, thitherward our ships did fare, but with swift rising flood the stormful seasons of Orion's star drove us on viewless shoals, and angry gales dispersed us, smitten by the tumbling surge, among unnavigable rocks. Behold, we few swam hither, waifs upon your shore. What race of mortals this? What barbarous land, that with inhospitable laws ye thrust a stranger from your coasts and fly to arms, nor grant mere foothold on your kingdom's bound? If man thou scorn'st and all mortal power, forget not that the gods watch good and ill. A king we had, Aeneas, never man in all the world so just and true, nor mightier in arms. If heaven decree his present safety, if he now do breathe the air of earth and is not buried below among the dreadful shades, then fear not thou, for thou wilt never rue that thou wert prompt to do us the first kindness. Over the sea, in the Sicilian land, are cities proud, with martial power, and great Acestes there is of our Trojan kin. So grant us here to beach our shattered ships along the shore, and from thy forest bring us beam and spar to mend our broken oars. Then if perchance we find once more our comrades and our king, and forth to Italy once more set sail, to Italy, our Latin hearth and horn, we will rejoicing go. But if our weal is clean gone by, and thee, blessed chief and sire, these Libyan waters keep, and if no more Iulus bids us hope, then at the least to yon Sicilian seas, to friendly lands, whence hither drifting with the winds we came, let us retrace the journey and rejoin good King Acestes. So Ilioneus ended his pleading. The Dardanii murmured assent. Then Dido, briefly, and with downcast eyes, her answer made. O Teucrians, have no fear. Bid care be gone. It was necessity, and on my young kingdom's weakness which compelled the policy of force, and made me keep such vigilant sentry on my wide coast along. Aeneas and his people, that fair town of Troy, who knows them not, the whole world knows. Those valorous chiefs and huge far-flaming wars, our Punic hearts are not of substance all, insensible and dull. The god of day drives not his fire-breathing seeds so far from this our Tyrian town. If ye would go to Hesperia, where Saturn reigned, or if voluptuous Eryx and the throne of good Acestes be your journey's end, I send you safe, I speed you on your way. But if in these my realms ye will abide, associates of my power, behold, I build this city for your own. Choose haven here for your good ships. Beneath my royal sway, Trojan and Tyrian equal grace will find. But oh, that this same storm had brought your king Aeneas hither, I will bid explore our Libya's utmost bound, where haply he in wilderness or hamlet wanders lost. By these fair words, to joy profoundly stirred, Father Aeneas and Achates brave, to cast aside the cloud that wrapped them round, yearned greatly, and Achates to his king spoke thus: O goddess born, in thy wise heart what purpose rises now? Lo, all is well, thy fleet and followers are safe at land. One only comes not, who comes before our eyes, sank in the soundless sea, all else fulfills thy mother's prophecy. Scarce had he spoke, when suddenly that overmantling cloud was cloven and dissolved in lucent air.